It's approaching 12:30 on the first full day of autumn, September 23rd, 2018, and there's Sarah Howell, the former Sarah Menard, doing what she did when she grew up as a farm girl out on the land here at Bob Venne Park. She has borrowed some piece of equipment from Todd Boyer and doing some mowing. When I was here a couple hours ago, Mark Dragoon was here and Clark Herdick were here and Alan Racine was also here, and they tried it with a couple of regular lawnmowers along with this piece of equipment, and the grass was just too thick, and particularly in the morning with the dew on the grass, it was clogging up the regular mowers. So Sarah's continuing with this piece of equipment. She may try to get some farm equipment in here a little bit later in the day. But the Bob Venne Park and the Northern Frontier Little League, they are progressing. We started with a picture of the flag because we want to make sure everybody remembers that today's September 23rd. It wasn't until September 25th that the British left these lands right here. This is a 15-star, 15-stripe flag that was flown in 1814 all across America. And these grounds, of course, were occupied by British troops with the first scouts coming through on August 28th. After the Battle of Plattsburgh, they tended their wounded in the nearby Dewey Tavern, as we've mentioned so many times, and didn't leave Champlain until September 25th. So 204 years ago, as we're doing this, this land was still occupied. So as we're looking to see baseball and other sports played here, particularly Little League baseball played here on Bob Venne Park ground, we also want to make sure we remember the history of what took place here 204 years ago when America was invaded by the British in 1814. We'll be back later in the day to check on the progress here. And meanwhile, Sarah's hard at work. It's approximately 3 p.m. now, and we're back, and that farm girl is back here with some heavier equipment. Doesn't look like she did a lot with the little blue mower that she'd borrowed from Todd Boyer, but she is back and doing some heavy cutting now. And Bob Venne Park is really getting a mowing at this point in time. We're going to go down to the bottom end of the field because the grass really gets high and thick down at the lower end of this field, but it's nice up at this end, that's for sure, but looks even more impressive down below. So we're going to drive down there and take a look from that angle. We're now down at the far end. There's the flag. And in all this, knowing Sarah, I'm sure she will be. I think she's trying to avoid making real sharp turns down here. But as we can see, the little swaths that she leaves behind when she cuts are quite prosperous. And maybe we'll get a view of her. We'll back up a step so she won't run over us. So we'll get a view of this former farm girl in action. see, she's making a wide turn. And as you can see, she's cutting a lot of green stuff as she comes through. Bob Venne Park, future home of the Northern Frontier Little League baseball and softball teams. We're going to stop in the middle of the field and get a shot from there before we take our leave today. As you can see, as thick as the haylage is here, it still needs to be mowed on a regular basis in order to get this to thicken up. So if in the not too distant future people involved can come down here on a regular basis and start mowing this like you would your lawn, I don't think it'd be too long before this would become solid grass in here, which you need for a ball field. Shazy has a couple of rec parks in their township. They used to have a third one with Scioto. Mowers has a couple of rec parks in their township. Altona, of course, has Feinberg Park. There's a nice rec park in Beekmantown. So folks in Champlain don't have to reinvent the wheel here. Just find out what other towns are doing, and there's no reason why it can't be done here in Champlain too. At Bob Venne Park, and as we've pointed out so many times, with a perfect location. The history is here, but also right across the road from Northeastern Clinton Central School. So great place for a park, and we can't say it often enough, our thanks to Louis and Rita Bedard for their generosity and foresight in making this available to the Bob Venne Park Committee those many years ago.